All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakak Wadash, and double honor to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Do rule well and salute. Salute, man, to you sincere brothers who push the truth, man. Week in and week out. Y'all brothers stay strong. We almost home. And yeah, man, I think I might title this lesson, Quit letting these so-called white people out there protesting fool y'all, man. I'm talking to you jakes who don't know no better. You lost jakes, man. You lost so-called Negroes. Quit letting them fool y'all. They're not your friend. They're not your ally, man. They don't give a damn about you, man. They're out there for an agenda. They're being paid to be out there. That the protesters are being paid to protest. You might have a few sincere ones here and there. You know, a couple of them might be Jake. But most of them being paid to protest and most of them being paid to riot, man. All the shit that's getting burned down, most of that shit was burned down by so-called white people. And that includes so-called white undercover police officers burning shit down, man. So quit letting them fool, quit letting that little gesture, that false gesture of them out there holding up signs and rioting and saying Black Lives Matter. And even some of them even fighting and attacking the police. It's going to get to the point some of them going to start shooting other white people over Black Lives Matter, you know? But that's all a setup, man. It's all a setup. And I'm going to go play this video, and Lord willing, y'all wake y'all ass up, and Lord willing, y'all be edified, man. Let's go.
People work too hard. You ain't gonna do it in front of me.
This is not a black woman who's putting Black Lives Matter. I just want you to know that when right, but y'all doing that for us, and we ain't asked you to do that. Listen, don't spray stuff on here when they gonna blame black people for this, and black people didn't do it.
Don't push the brake. Stop. It doesn't matter. Because listen, no. When you do that, no. But when you do that, they don't come after you. They come after us.
Don't spray on these people's buildings. That's not our message. We out here standing together peacefully, protesting without any problems. You got people of all races spraying on buildings talking about Black Lives Matter. That ain't even us. You got police officers coming to a peaceful protest spraying gas on us. We ain't even did nothing.
Hey, that might not be your message, but guess what? Some of these jakes out here who following that Black Lives Matter shit, yeah, I called it shit, don't know what Black Lives Matter is really about, by the way. They don't know that. I'm going to go into some of the message of Black Lives Matter, what they're really about, man. I'm going to go on their website, you know. Go on their website and show you what they really stand for, you know. And I'm going to get this Sirach 12. Before I even do that, I'm going to say something. Hey, nothing's new under the sun, man. Emperor Nero. Remember, America's modern day Rome, man. America's modern day Rome. Remember, ancient Rome, Emperor Nero burned down Rome and blamed it on niggas, basically. He blamed it on so-called black people. He blamed it on the Christians, man. The followers of Yahweh Shah, that's who it's going to ultimately fall on. Not just black people, but blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. But they really want to get their paws on the man who out there preaching his Bible, spreading his truth, man. You know, there's nothing new under the sun. They blamed it on Jake in the ancient world. They're going to blame it on Jake today, even though they setting this shit up. They paying these people to go out here and riot, man. Go look up George Soros. He pays people. He pays crisis actors. He's a billionaire who pays crisis actors. He pays, he stages a lot of false flag attacks, you know. He finances Black Lives Matter and other these bullshit organizations like Antifa, etc. And he funded a lot of those little right-wing groups too, man. Don't get it twisted. You know? And let me get this Sirach 12 real quick. It's Sirach 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy. Never trust thine enemy. For like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away. Exactly, man. Never, never, ever, ever trust your enemy. Who is your number one enemy? First of all, all these other nations are your enemies. Whether it be the Chinese, Japanese, the Polynesians, the Arabs, the East Indians, these different African groups, and especially the number one enemy, the so-called white man. Never ever trust them, man. Never. Scripture say, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. That man, his wickedness is there, though you can't even see it. But you're going to eventually see it. You're going to eventually see it, man. Verse, and it also says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. So you Edomites coming to y'all playing humble like they on your team, but they really agent for provocateurs, man. They're really out there to set it off and get y'all ass set up for a fall and get y'all locked up, get y'all hit with rubber bullets and actual live ammo, live ammunition, deadly fire. Get y'all thrown in jails and in concentration camps, man. Because I was watching videos where they got feds out there just pulling up in regular unmarked cars, throwing niggas in them cars and just riding off in them. You know? They don't even announce themselves or nothing. They just run up, pull up with them guns, grab your ass, put some handcuffs or whatever on you, throw you in the trunk or something on the back seat, or some vans or trucks or whatever, ride off and take you to some undisclosed location, man. You know? Let's see. Give me a second. Verse 12. Set him not by thee, lest when he had overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place, neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Exactly, man. And it says, set him not by thee, lest when he had overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Exactly, because who's trying to stand up in the place of so-called black people today? LGBTs, man. Which they're not an oppressed group at all. Matter of fact, LGBTs run this whole world. The so-called Illuminati, the globalists, the president, the niggas who running for president, your politicians, they LGBTs and Ps, pedophiles. But they're, and by once again, let me go to Black Lives Matter website real quick, man. Let me go to their website real quick. Go to their website, man. Hold on. Let me read that again. Verse 12, set him not by thee, lest when he had overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. So this is blacklivesmatter.com, and it says what we believe. Now I'm gonna scroll on down and get to the meat of the situation here. I ain't trying to read this whole thing. Hold on. Okay, I start right there. Right there. Hold on. Right there where I'm highlighting that in the blue. If I could. Okay. It says, we are self-reflective and do the work required to dismantle cisgender, which cisgender is talking about straight people, man. It says we are self-reflective. So when you see the Black Lives Matter leaders out there and their other little pawns or whatever, they're self-reflective of what I'm about to read right now. This is a reflection of them. It says we are self-reflective and do the work required to dismantle cisgender privilege, straight people privilege, which there is no straight people privilege out here. The only straight people in this country that got privilege is so-called white people, man. And it says uplift black trans folk, transgender blacks, man. Especially black trans women, whatever the hell that is, a man who's running around calling himself a woman, who continue to be disproportionately impacted by trans antagonistic violence. Let's see. We build a space that affirms black women and is free from sexism and environments in which men are centered. You see, this website can, not just this website, this whole organization is completely anti-black male, man. It's anti-straight black male. This organization is against the Israelite man, who is the so-called black man, the Latino. I'm too excited, Slocky. The so-called black man, the so-called Latino man, and the so-called Native American man. They're against us. It said we build a space that affirms black women and is free from sexism, misogyny, and environments in which men are centered. We practice empathy. We engage comrades with the intent to learn about and connect with their context. We make our spaces family-friendly and enable parents to fully participate with their children. We dismantle the patriarchal practice that requires mothers to work double shifts so that they can mother in private even as they participate in public justice work. We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another. Now, it says we disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure. Now, the Western prescribed nuclear family structure. Okay. The so-called nuclear family structure in the West was supposed to be based off the Bible, but we know that's bullshit. So that's what they're really trying to say. That's what they're trying to disrupt. Nature. What's natural, man. What's organic. They hate order. But then when you read up one paragraph, it says we make our spaces family friendly and enable parents to fully participate with their children. But then you read one paragraph down, we disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirements by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another, especially our children, to the degree that mothers, parents, and children are comfortable. We foster a queer affirming network. When we gather, we do so with the intention of freeing ourselves from the tight grip of heteronormative thinking, normal heterosexual thinking, or rather the belief that all in the world are heterosexual unless he or she or they disclose otherwise. It says we cultivate an intergenerational and communal network free from ageism. We believe that all people, regardless of age, show up with the capacity to lead and learn. Anyway, a bunch of bullshit. See, that's what Black Lives Matter is really about, man. That's why you got so many white people in there also, man. Matter of fact, Black Lives Matter now is a majority white organization, a majority Edomite organization, man. So let me read verse 12 on that Sirach 12 real quick. Once again, set him not by thee, lest when he had overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him set at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a trauma that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come near wild beasts? So all you Negroes, man, get away from that fucking Black Lives Matter, man. That was started by 3 lesbians. Black Lives Matter was started by 3 lesbians. And guess what they getting paid by? To be Marxists, man. And agent provocateurs and Trojan horses, man. They getting paid by the so-called white man, the so-called white Jew, the devil himself. And it says, so who gonna pity you when you get bit by them, bro? All the information is out there on them. You know? And it says, so you Negroes out there telling, oh, they white people out there protesting, they making no noise in the black people. Of course they is, nigga. They paid to do so. I'm going to continue on. So one that goeth to a sinner and is devoured with him in his sins, who will pity? For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. Exactly. Where y'all niggas getting thrown in jail cells, but being out there thinking you standing up for so-called black causes, guess what? For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, when your ass get thrown in jail and get killed, he will not tarry. They getting out of there. They did their job. Verse 16, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he had imagined how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagined how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. So they throwing y'all Negroes into a pit, man. I'm gonna go back to the videos. Boom, hold on. They throwing y'all into a pit. But the scriptures say, the pit that this devil done dug, he gonna fall in it too, man. He gonna fall in his own trap. Let's see. I'm gonna play some more of this video.
Don't let the media fool you. When they see the vandalism on these places, know that it wasn't us.
You don't have to go and burn down things, steal things, burn things, and stuff like that. We always try to keep things together. We got enough issue with this COVID virus right now. We got enough issues. But for this right here to happen right now, it just add to it. You got people, big corporations are closing their stores because.
Now look. Now see, I watched a lot of these riots live, especially that Kenosha riot, Kenosha, Wisconsin, that happened after Jacob Blake was shot 7 times in the back. Now he's paralyzed, by the way. And I noticed, Slock, hold on. I noticed everybody who was burning shit down, who had Molotov cocktails, were all so-called white boys and white girls burning shit down. And I'm going to show you a little bit of proof. That's a white boy. That's an Edomite boy. Look at that. Burning up a goddamn dump truck. A sanitation truck. Whatever you want to call it. See? Guess what they're gonna burn it on? Black people. Black lives matter. You know? That's what they're gonna burn it on. When these devils constantly talking about they coming for a civil war, they want a civil war, it's gonna be a civil war. Who you think they talking about killing, man? Huh? These so-called white people just go back and blend in with their community. So-called black people can't, man. So they talking about killing your quote-unquote black ass, man. You know? So y'all better wake up, man.
Yeah, unintentional. It's very close to manslaughter. Yeah, just a little bit like.
Hold on, give me a second. 2 Corinthians 2. Give me a second. 2:11. At least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So you don't supposed to be ignorant of Satan's devices, man. And
movement. I went to 2 marches.
Technical difficulties.
Yo.
Okay, we're not supposed to be ignorant of Satan's devices, man. It's all a setup, man, by Esau Edom, the so-called white man. He's about to bring this martial law. They are bringing martial law in certain areas, but they're about to bring mass martial law, mass microchipping, mass vaccinations, throwing people in concentration camps, killing like crazy. You know? Go watch the first Purge, man. It let you know a lot of things in that movie, boy. About the times we're living in right now. So don't be ignorant of Satan's devices. Let's go. Who is Satan? The so-called white man. The word Satan means adversary. And nobody's more adversarial to God's children than Satan himself, the so-called white man. Nobody's more adversarial to the Most High himself. Except Satan himself, the so-called white man.
One thing I noticed this past weekend. Yeah. White people have taken over this movement. I went to 2 marches. Can we go on to this? Can we go on to this? Can we go on to it? Go, talk to me. They turned into Coachella. I know. I would say there was 5 black people for every 100 white people there. Son, I was shocked. And this was in Flatbush, Brooklyn. Son, I was in Santa Barbara, okay? Oh. White as fuck, but they had a march going, and so I took my girl's family and shit. I was like, really tried to impress. Shout out to Schulte. I don't know if that impresses them. I mean, it's like it shows I'm with it. Yeah,
goodwill and all that.
I mean, her dad was fresh out of surgery. I'm like making him hobble down the fucking street to go to this Black Lives Matter march. And but I just wanted to check it out because I was like, there's no black people in Santa Barbara, like very few, right?
Yeah.
And there was a few people there, and it was cool. Everybody was supporting everything like that. But I started to look around at the people at the march, and I was like, saw mad white bitches with dreads, hippied out, Burning Man shit, right? A few like trannies and shit. And one just had a sign, this chick with titties and everything. I'm a man. I was like, that got nothing to do with what's going on here, right? And I go, oh shit, this has become the outcast. Like anybody who's an outcast that wants to fight against the system that they believe has oppressed them is now supporting this thing. And they're saying it in terms of Black Lives Matter, but part of me is kind of like, they just want to tear down the system that made them feel like shit.
And they're getting paid to do it. Don't forget about that.
We're inferior or not part of something. And I wonder if it's going to start to get co-opted because as I see more of these things, they're looking fun. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have fun at a protest, but you shouldn't.
I rode past a Black Lives Matter protest at the Ferguson police station. Guess what I saw? People out there twerking. A bunch of white people and one black girl. Freaky looking so-called white people with colorful hair, rainbow hair, tattoos all over their damn body, and one so-called black girl who was probably raised around Edomites. And all of them was twerking, bro, looking totally degenerate. So that's what this stupid ass movement about. And don't let, like I said, you so-called black people, you Israelites out, don't let these goddamn crackers out there protesting and rioting fool y'all, man. They don't give a damn about you. Those are your enemy. And they setting you up.
Black people should have never Cupid shuffled at that protest. That was the tipping point. That's when white people were like, we should do this.
Yo, son, be honest, right? If you're at a protest and you're the powers that be, and you see them screaming and angry and defacing public property and doing that kind of shit, you're like, yo, we got to do something. If you see motherfuckers dancing and singing and YG dropping new music,
that's a block party.
It's a block party, so you're like, oh, they're good. They just want to kick it. All right, they're going to be good. Everything's fine. I really don't know if it helps the severity and seriousness of the movement if everybody's so joyous.
Can I be honest, though?
Go.
That's why if you're just doing a peaceful protest without, like, any kind of economic sanction of any kind, informal to formal, nobody, I don't think, is going to listen. You're just hanging out,
100%.
Screaming. Who gives a fuck?
Women's March.
Yeah.
What that changed?
They're more annoying.
I can't name, like, a single piece of legislative difference, like... What would it change? I would say just the
it gave some of these women the careers they wanted.
Yeah, like... Say again?
It gave some of these women the careers they wanted.
What? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess.
But hold on. Anyway, I'm going to leave it right there. Proverbs 11:21. Though hands join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. Though hands join in hand, hey, the wicked ain't going to be unpunished. They going to get punished. And the seed of the righteous is going to be delivered, man. So you 2/3 niggas that want to join hand in hand with these devils, you go right ahead, man. Really, you should repent. But if you want, you don't want to repent, go right ahead. And the seed of the righteous, the hopeful elect, and the 1/3 are going to be delivered, man. The ones who love Yahweh Shem Yahushua, how do they love him? They keep what he's commanded. They keep his word. They keep his law. That's how they show their faith. You know? That's the seed of the righteous, man. But all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Bashem Rakak Wadash. Shalom to the hopeful elect, Kwam Yasha Allah, a Bible ball.